Hey guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host, Knick-Knack, on this very, very special edition of the Plastic Planet. Why is it so special, you ask? Well, tonight I'm going to be doing probably a rather biased review slash unboxing of this amazing Hot Toys figure that I have been waiting for well over a year, if not really, honestly, for the last 10 years. I am so excited to have this figure that tonight I'm going to read you guys a short passage from one of my very favorite books, revisiting, once again, if you've watched some of my earlier videos, The Return of the Jedi motion picture novel. This will give you guys a real good hint of where I'm going here. The iron gate of Jabba's palace scraped open harshly, oiled only with sand and time. Standing outside in the dusty gale, staring into the black, cavernous entranceway, was Luke Skywalker. He was clad in the robe of the Jedi Knight, a Cossack, really, but bore neither gun nor lightsaber. He stood loosely, without bravado. Taking a measure of the place before entering, he was a man now. Wiser like a man. Older, more from loss than from years. Loss of illusions. Loss of dependency, loss of friends to war, loss of sleep, loss to stress, loss of laughter, loss of his hand. But of all his losses, the greatest was that which came from knowledge, and from the deep recognition that he could never unknow what he knew. So many things he wished he'd never learned. He had aged with the weight of this knowledge. Knowledge brought benefits, of course. He was less impulsive now. Manhood had given him perspective, a framework in which to fit the events of his life, that is, a lattice of spatial and time coordinates spanning his existence, back to earliest memories, ahead to 100 alternative futures. A lattice of depths and conundrums and intricacies through which Luke could peer at any new event in his life. Peer at it with perspective. A lattice of shadows and corners, rolling back to the vanishing point on the horizon of Luke's mind. And all these shadow boxes that lent such perspective to things, well, this lattice gave his life a certain darkness. That is, of course, is from, like I said, the Return of the Jedi storybook, written back in 1982, 1983. And with that opening, I'm going to present to you guys this figure, which of course represents the culmination of the hero's journey, as so eloquently described in this novel by James Caan. Tonight I'm going to unbox for you guys the 1/6 scale Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi from Hot Toys. Stick around, guys. This is going to be awesome.
Knick-Knack's Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Knick-Knack!
Alrighty, now it's been removed from its protective shipper, and just like any other Hot Toys figure, it is just completely lackluster in terms of fanfare, but that's okay, because quite frankly, we all know it's what's on the inside that counts, and I have a feeling what's on the inside is going to be absolutely freaking amazing. So let's just get right to it, shall we? Alright, let's do that right now. Alrighty, so we've removed the first layer, and as you can see, there's some really nice looking box art. There always are with Hot Toys, but that's a nice little montage there with Luke in his Jedi robe, and then of course further down from him later on in the film, looking really, really nice. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. Again, I haven't opened this figure, so that's what's so fun about this sometimes, is my impression is your impression, so this is going to be kind of cool. Let's just go ahead and check it out. And there's a lot of glare here like always, so we're not going to be able to tell what's what yet, but as you can see, there's a lot of accessories here. If I pan back, a lot of different hand configurations, multiple lightsabers, including that awesome swinging effect. That is going to be so badass. and then of course the face sculpt, which you can't really see because of the amount of glare coming off the clamshell packaging. But again, looking really, really nice. So let's just, without further ado, let's get into this guy and let's explore all the nuts and bolts here, or at least as many as I can right now. Alrighty, now here he is set up in all of his glory with all of his accessories carefully removed from the packaging, looking absolutely gorgeous. I went ahead and just took the liberty this time of removing all the little baggies and whatnot. I've showed in other videos on other Hot Toys figures, you know, how to remove the little neck wraps they provide around the figure's neck. I went ahead and just did that myself this time. I thought I would give a little extra time for some other things later in the video, and I'm sure you guys can figure out how to do that on your own. Obviously, we're all grown-ups here. I wanted to make a note. One of my really good subscribers, Retro Force, commented on my last video when I was sort of teasing this figure that there was some QC issues that had been noted with some of the ink from his tunic getting somehow rubbed onto his neck, I believe. Fortunately, I'm not seeing that with my figure. It looks really clean, so there's no issues there, but I just wanted to thank Retro Force once again for making me aware of that, and so now I can make you guys aware of that as well, that apparently there is some QC issues with, once again, some of the black ink from the tunic rubbing off on his neck. Again, not here. This figure looks really great, really clean, no QC issues, but nevertheless, some people have reported that. So anyway, FYI. But moving on, this figure looks absolutely awesome. There's just so many. I mean, there's just a plethora of accessories here. I mean, he was a little pricier, but for the amount of accessories you get, really awesome. And all of these accessories are really usable. I mean, there's so many display options available here. You almost want to order 2 or 3 of these just so you can have them all in different display poses throughout your collection. As you can see, there's just a large assortment of hand configurations, including, look at this, he's got the battle damaged artificial hand from, you know, when he gets shot in the hand on Jabba's sail barge. Looking really cool. Got the binders from when he surrenders to Darth Vader on board, or on the Force moon of Endor. Of course, we've got our dreaded watch batteries, which we'll be dealing with here in a moment, and some extra hand peg configurations for those arm sockets. But again, I mean, just look at the plethora of accessories here, and this is something that was such a sale for me when they first previewed this figure, and that's the swinging lightsaber effect. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. Can you imagine how cool that's going to be? You know, with him posed up with this. This may be where I go with it. I don't know. There's just so many choices here. Then, of course, you got some awesome like girders from onboard Death Star 2 there. And then look at this. You know, as someone who has bitched and moaned about Hot Toys stands, particularly when it comes to Star Wars figures with those annoying red grates. Well, you get a grate with this one, but it's an awesome grate because, of course, it is the floor to the Rancor pit. But check it out. That's not just your only choice here. Now, these are cardboard, but it's a really nice card stock. So you can do that, or you can do that nice Tatooine sand, and it's almost got a little texture to it. Absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, you've got the Death Star deck plating, in which this will connect up into like that. And of course that just fell over. But this is also, finally, is his Jedi robe, which comes, you know, on that nice cardboard backing, so it's not all squished into the packaging. Again, packed with some, you know, some really nice TLC from Hot Toys there. Nothing too overboard, but still really, really nice. All right, so let's just get into the nuts and bolts. I'm gonna show you guys some of these awesome accessories, and yeah, this figure is amazing. So stick with me, guys. This is fun. Alrighty, guys, well, I'm not gonna lie, this really sucks. There's a really bad design flaw in this, I feel. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I was trying to get the light up lightsaber arm onto the frame of the body, and I ran into a really big problem with getting the costume, the sleeve of the costume, back over the just slightly chunkier arm with the lightsaber in it, and I couldn't do it. And I worked at it. I was working at this for like almost 40 minutes just trying to work this over, and maybe I'm stupid, you know. Sometimes I've said in many of my videos that I'm kind of all thumbs, but I was having a really hard time with this, so I'm just gonna kind of abandon this for this video. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. In past videos I've always shown off that feature on these figures, but I just quite can't get it to work. So anyway, had I gotten it to work, this is how glorious it would look. I've got the swinging blade lit up right now, so that looks really cool. And of course, here is the stationary blade. Again, looking so awesome. I just could not manipulate it over this sleeve. I was able to get the the standard one back in, which I was getting concerned I wasn't going to be able to do that. I was afraid I'd wrecked my figure, which is infuriating for the cost of these. But anyway, that seems like a little bit of a design flaw. There ought to be, I understand, I want the costume to be tight. I want it to be as lifelike as possible. So that's a little bit of a frustration. Nevertheless, also, as you can see, I've removed the outer tunic from him. So he's kind of more attuned to how he looked at the end of the film. Again, looking really badass, though, on that Death Star deck plating there. Really awesome figure. Let's see what other configurations I can get him in for you guys. Sorry about that, but yeah, this feature is DOA for me, dead on arrival. I'm not going to be able to pose him in that, and that's okay. You know what? These batteries, as much as I love this feature, these batteries, if you leave them on for 5 minutes, wear out, so there is that as well. So anyway, let's get him in some other features, some other configurations. Still an awesome figure. I had some similar frustrations with the Anakin Skywalker Revenge of the Sith figure I reviewed several transmissions ago. Same issue with him, except it was the gauntlet on the wrist that I couldn't manipulate. You can't turn the switch on and off with the gauntlet on, and it's still kind of a bear to take on and off. So again, sort of a fail on that one, Hot Toys. I guess it's not such an unbiased review after all, so there is some design flaws here, but overall I'm still very pleased. Alright, let's get on with it. I'll show you guys some other features here. Still awesome. Alrighty, so here he is, beautifully swinging that lightsaber in full-on effect, taking out some Jabba's henchmen. And as you can see, he's already got that battle damage on his artificial hand, looking just absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys him with his Jedi robe on, and we'll wrap up this review with a little compare and contrast. Alrighty, and here he is confronting the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt, and one of my personal favorite scenes from the original trilogy, standing over that Rancor pit configuration on the stand, just looking amazing. The Jedi tunic or cloak fits much better than the one from the 2005 Sideshow release. Just the feel of it, the wiring inside of the hood fits really nice. It just lays beautifully. It almost has like a silk feel to it. It's just nice to even touch. Again, this is awesome right here. This makes up for the shoddy design flaw on the light up saber all the way. So I'm really digging that. I'm gonna give you a little 360 of that action. Look at that, just looking gorgeous. Could futz with that a little more. You could futz with these things all day and it still won't be quite how you want it, but nevertheless, that's looking really damn awesome. And reaching out with the power of the Force, Luke summons a pistol from an unsuspecting guard's belt and points it at the vile gangster himself, Jabba the Hutt, just as Gartog, his loyal Gamorrean guard, tries to intervene with Luke's plan, just before they are tossed into the vicious pit of the mighty Rancor. Alrighty, so with that, let's go ahead and do a little bit of compare and contrast. Of course, this is the new Hot Toys Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker with some very relevant but much earlier releases from Sideshow Collectibles. Of course, that is the much earlier Jabba the Hutt 1/6 scale with throne back there, and of course that is Gartog, the Gamorrean guard. He had the broken horn, whereas there's another Gamorrean guard that did not. So anyway, those are those three together, looking really awesome. Alrighty, and for compare and contrast today, this is so special for me. This is really what Star Wars is all about. It's the iconic hero's journey that George Lucas was so heavily influenced from Joseph Campbell. Here we have Luke Skywalker, the naive, green, untested farm boy, as he first is told about the power of the Force as he is discovering his father's lightsaber for the first time. As we transition to Bespin, where he is going through the ultimate trials of his Jedi Knight training. He's being tested to the limits. He's battered, he's bruised, he's about to lose his hand and his innocence, knowing what his lineage actually is. And then, of course, finally, the culminating journey of Luke Skywalker as he is a Jedi Knight, a fully realized, self-idolized Jedi Knight in full battle mode there. Absolutely awesome. I really love these three figures together. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to shut the hell up and I'm going to give you guys a full tour of the journey of Luke Skywalker through 1/6 scale medium. Alrighty guys, well that is going to wrap up this edition of the Plastic Planet. I really hope you've enjoyed this unboxing of this fairly awesome, with a few minor design flaws, 1/6 scale Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker from Hot Toys, as well as this visual tour of Luke Skywalker's hero's journey in 1/6 scale medium. I sure enjoyed setting it up. This was a hell of a lot of fun to film, and it really just brings out my love for this character, who in my opinion is maybe, probably, kinda the greatest protagonist in all of fiction, if I could be so bold. I don't know if any character is so beloved like Luke Skywalker is. I mean, maybe Achilles was by the ancient Greeks, or Thor by the Nordics, but you know what? Nevertheless, Luke Skywalker is the ultimate protagonist in my opinion, and I absolutely love owning this collection as a centerpiece of my personal collection right here in the Plastic Planet. So anyway, that's going to wrap things up, guys. Once again, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Really love you guys to do that. I love all my comments. I really love my subscribers. I love all your guys' support that I've gotten over the last couple weeks. Always love to hear from you guys. I won't lie, it's been a tough one for my family over the last couple weeks, but we're making it through some things, and this channel has definitely been an outlet for me in that respect, and I love you guys for always being there with me to enjoy this awesome freaking hobby. So anyway, that's gonna wrap things up, guys. Hey, have a great week, and you know what? Have a great holiday. Be safe, and you know what? Buy something too, because it's a lot of fun. Alright guys, till next time. Alrighty, so here's my advice if you want to get really fat. Just add some M&Ms into your bag of movie popcorn. This is just like an awesome pro tip here. Look at that shit. This is what we call super chocolate feed bag. Pretty epic, right? I mean, this is shake down and it's all you gotta shake it. It's all buttery and warm and gushy. I honestly, I mean, if I don't throw up before the night's over with, this will be a complete failure. Awesome.